I'm standing in the back of a church wearing a $12 suit when the groom sees me, and his face goes white. 300 people. Cameras rolling. The bride in her perfect white dress. And this man, Preston, the golden boy everyone loves, stops walking down the aisle. He's staring at me. His hands start shaking. Preston? His bride whispers, confused. Baby, what's wrong? He didn't answer her. He took one step forward. Then another. The entire church has gone silent. My daughter, Maya, sitting 6 rows up, turns around. She's looking at me with those big, confused eyes that break my heart. No, not here. Not now. Preston's mouth opens. His voice cracks. And in front of everyone, in front of his family, his bride, the cameras capturing every second, he says the one word I prayed no one would ever say again. Boss. The church erupts in whispers. Claire, the bride, steps back. What? What did you just say? Preston's still staring at me, his face drained of color, his legs barely holding him up. I didn't know you'd be here, he stammers. I swear I didn't. Preston, who is that? Someone hisses from the front row. My daughter stands up. Dad. That's my cue. I should leave. Walk out. Disappear like I've done for 7 years. But I can't move. Because everyone in this church is staring at me now, the nobody in the back row, the broke single dad no one respects, and they're starting to realize something. Something they can't explain yet. Something dangerous. Preston takes another step toward me and I see it in his eyes. Fear. Pure primal fear. Not of what I was, of what I still am. You probably think you know where this is going. You don't. Because 7 years ago I wasn't just rich. I wasn't just powerful. I was the kind of man whose name made billionaires sweat. Whose orders decided empires. Whose disappearance left a hole so deep, people are still looking for me. But I walked away. I buried that life. I became this. A struggling single dad in a thrift store suit. Invisible. Forgotten. Safe. Or so I thought. Drop a comment right now. Where are you watching from? Because what you're about to hear, you won't believe it. And if you want to see how a man can fall from the top of the world and claw his way back without throwing a single punch, hit subscribe. Because this story is just getting started. Now let me show you how I ended up here. Let me show you how far I fell. And how one word, boss, just destroyed everything I built to keep my daughter safe. I'm standing in front of a cracked bathroom mirror at 6:15 a.m., trying to tie a Windsor knot with a YouTube tutorial playing on my phone for the 4th time. My hands won't stop shaking. Not because I'm nervous about the wedding. Because the electric bill is due in 2 days and I'm $43 short. Dad. Maya's voice cuts through the thin apartment wall. We're gonna be late. 2 minutes, sweetheart. I call back, yanking the tie loose again. The knot looks like a drunk pretzel. I give up and go with a simple 4 in hand. Good enough. No one's going to be looking at me anyway. I step back and take in the full picture. Goodwill suit that's slightly too big in the shoulders. Shoes I've resold twice. A face that's learned to apologize before speaking. 7 years ago, I had people tie my ties for me. 7 years ago, I wore suits that cost more than this entire apartment building. 7 years ago, I was someone else. Stay buried, I remind myself. Stay dead. Dad, seriously. Maya bursts into the bathroom, already dressed in the purple flower girl dress we bought on clearance 3 months ago. She looks beautiful. Her mother's eyes. Her mother's smile. My heart cracks a little. You look like a princess, I say softly. She grins, then notices my tie. That's crooked. I know, baby. I'm not good at these. She sighs dramatically, 10 years old going on 30, and climbs onto the toilet seat to reach my collar. Her small fingers work the fabric with surprising confidence. Mom taught me, she says quietly. Remember? Before she got sick. I remember. I remember everything. There. She pats my chest. Now you look like a real dad. I'm a real dad, I want to say. That's all I am now. But she's already running back to her room, shouting something about her flower basket. The drive to the church takes 40 minutes in my beat-up Honda Civic, the kind of car that makes a different horrible noise every week. Today it's a grinding sound from the left front wheel that I can't afford to fix. Maya chatters the entire way, talking about the ceremony, the reception, the cake she heard has 5 layers. Do you think Aunt Diane will let me take some home? She asks. Maybe, I lied. Diane won't. Diane thinks we're an embarrassment. A stain on her perfect family portrait. She's not entirely wrong. Dad. Maya's voice goes quieter. Why don't Grandma and Grandpa ever visit us? My hands tighten on the steering wheel. They're busy, sweetheart. But they visit Aunt Diane. I saw the pictures on Facebook. Of course she does. Different kinds of busy, I say, keeping my voice light. Hey, did I tell you the reception has a chocolate fountain? Her eyes go wide. Really? Really? Crisis averted. For now. We pull into the church parking lot at 1:47 p.m., 13 minutes early, which for us is a miracle. The lot is packed with luxury cars. Mercedes, Teslas, BMWs. Our Honda looks like it wandered in from a junkyard by mistake. I park in the back corner, away from everyone. Maya practically bounces out of the car, clutching her flower basket like it's made of gold. Slow down, I call, but she's already running toward the church entrance. I follow at a slower pace, feeling the weight of every eye that might glance my way. The church is massive, old stone, stained glass, the kind of place that costs $10,000 just to book. Inside it smells like lavender and old wood and money. So much money. Caleb. I turn. Diane. My late wife's younger sister. 40 years old and polished to a shine that could cut glass. She's wearing a cream-colored dress that probably costs more than my monthly rent. She doesn't smile. She never smiles at me. You're here, she says like it's an accusation. Maya wanted to come. Of course. Her eyes flick over my suit and I see the judgment. The pity. The disgust. You'll sit in the back. Family only up front. Understood. And Caleb? She leans in slightly, her voice dropping. Please don't make a scene. This day is important to Claire. I want to ask what kind of scene she thinks I'd make. But I didn't. Because asking questions draws attention. And attention is dangerous. I'll be invisible, I say quietly. Good. She turns and walks away, her heels clicking on the marble floor. Maya appears at my side, her face fallen. Did Aunt Diane say I can't sit with the family? No, baby. You're sitting with your cousins. I'll be right behind you, okay? But, Maya. I crouch down, meeting her eyes. I need you to have fun today. That's all I care about. Can you do that for me? She hesitates, then nods. That's my girl. I adjusted the flower clip in her hair, the cheap one from the dollar store that she insisted looked fancy enough. She runs off to join the other flower girls and I'm alone again. Always alone. The church fills quickly. 300 people, maybe more. I recognize some faces, distant relatives, old colleagues of my late wife's family, people who used to know me when I was someone worth knowing. None of them recognize me now. I'm a ghost. I take my seat in the very last row, next to an elderly woman who smells like peppermint and doesn't acknowledge my existence. Perfect. From here, I can see Maya 6 rows up, squeezed between two cousins who are too busy on their phones to talk to her. She glances back at me and I give her a thumbs up. She smiles and that's enough. That's always enough. The pianist starts playing something classical and elegant. People settle into their seats. The energy shifts from chaos to anticipation. I let my mind wander. To the stack of bills on my kitchen counter. To the double shift I'm covering Monday at the warehouse. To the parent-teacher conference next week where I'll sit in a plastic chair and nod while they tell me Maya needs more support at home. Support costs money. Money I don't have. Because I walked away from billions. Because I made a promise. I'm done, I'd whispered, holding my wife's hand as the machines beeped their final rhythm. I'm out. I'll disappear. I'll raise Maya clean. I swear it's Sarah. I swear. And I kept that promise. Even when it broke me. Even when it hollowed me out. Even when. The music changes. Everyone stands. The bride appears at the end of the aisle, Claire, my niece, 24 and radiant in white lace. She's nervous, happy, glowing. I'm genuinely glad for her. The ceremony begins. The officiant speaks in that rehearsed, soothing tone about love and commitment and forever. I barely listen. My mind is already at the reception, calculating how long we need to stay before we can leave without offending anyone. An hour maybe. 2 at most. Then the groom steps forward. Preston. I've met him once before, briefly at a family dinner 8 months ago. Polite. Charming. The kind of guy who shakes hands firmly and remembers your name. He barely looked at me. Why would he? I'm nobody. But now as he walks toward the altar, something shifts. His eyes sweep the crowd, probably looking for his parents, his groomsmen, someone to ground him. And then they land on me. Just for a second. Just long enough. His smile doesn't fade. It shatters. The color drains from his face like someone pulled a plug. His hands, relaxed at his sides a moment ago, suddenly clench into fists. Then unclench. Then tremble. He stumbles. Just one step. But it's enough. The officiant pauses. Preston? Claire reaches for his hand. Babe, you okay? He doesn't answer. He's staring at me. And I feel it, that old current, the one I buried, the one I swore I'd never let rise again, crackling up my spine. No. This isn't possible. I'm clean. I'm invisible. Preston takes another step forward, his legs stiff, his breathing visible even from here. The church has gone silent. 300 people holding their breath. Preston? Claire's voice is louder now, confused, worried. He doesn't look at her. His eyes are locked on mine. And then, in front of everyone, in front of his bride, his family, the cameras recording every moment for posterity, Preston opens his mouth. His voice cracks. Breaks. Boss. The word echoes. My daughter turns around. She's looking at me now. Everyone is. And I realize, with my heart pounding and my hands going cold and my entire carefully constructed life crumbling in real time, I thought I could bury the past. I thought I could stay dead. I was wrong. The silence lasts 3 seconds. 3 seconds where I watch my entire life collapse in slow motion. Then everyone starts talking at once. What did he say? Who is that man? Did the groom just call him boss? Claire's face twists in confusion. Preston, what are you? I'm sorry, Preston blurts out, still staring at me. His voice is shaking. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know you'd be here. Know I'd be here? My mind is racing trying to place him. Trying to remember if our paths crossed in the old days. But I met 1,000 people back then. 1,000 faces, 1,000 deals, 1,000. Preston Michael Laurent, a voice cuts through the chaos. Commanding. Coming from the front row. An older man stands, silver hair, custom suit, the kind of presence that demands attention. Preston's father, I realize. Gerald Laurent. And suddenly, pieces start clicking into place. Laurent. No. Son, Gerald says quietly, his voice like ice wrapped in velvet. Sit down. But Preston can't seem to move. He's frozen, his eyes still locked on me, and I see something in them that makes my blood run cold. Not just fear. Guilt. Dad. Maya's voice cuts through everything. She's standing now, pushing past her cousins. Dad, what's happening? That snaps me out of it. I move toward her, my hands up in a calming gesture. It's okay, baby. Just a misunderstanding. But he called you. I know. I reach her, put my hands on her shoulders. It's nothing. He's just nervous. Weddings make people nervous. She doesn't believe me. She's too smart for that. Caleb. Diane appears like a storm, her face red. What is going on? Do you know the groom? No, I say firmly. I've never met him before today. It's not entirely a lie. I met him once 8 months ago. Shook his hand. That was it. But the way he's looking at me now suggests otherwise. This is unacceptable, Diane hisses. You're disrupting Claire's wedding. You need to leave. I didn't do anything. Leave. Now. Maya grabs my hand. We didn't do anything wrong. Maya, it's fine. I squeeze her hand, then look at Diane. We'll go. Dad, no. It's okay. I'm already guiding her toward the exit, past 300 staring faces, past whispers that follow us like ghosts. But before we reach the door, Preston's voice rings out. Wait. I freeze. Don't, I hear Gerald Laurent say sharply. Don't you dare. I have to. Preston's walking down the aisle now toward us. Claire tries to grab his arm, but he shakes her off gently. I have to explain. No. Whatever you're about to say, don't. He stops 5 feet away from me. Up close, I can see the sweat on his forehead, the way his hands won't stop trembling. I worked for you, he says quietly. 10 years ago. I was an analyst at Laurent Holdings when your organization acquired us. Laurent Holdings. The memory surfaces like a corpse from deep water. 12 years ago. A hostile takeover. A real estate empire in Chicago that refused to sell. I'd sent people to convince them. Convince being a polite word. I was 23, Preston continues. Fresh out of Wharton. My father sent me to the negotiation meeting because he thought it would be a good experience. His laugh is hollow. It was. I learned exactly what happens when you say no to Caleb Stone. The name hangs in the air. My real name. The one I haven't used in 7 years. Maya's hand tightens in mine. Dad, what is he talking about? I don't know, I say, my voice steady even as everything inside me is screaming. I think he has me confused with someone else. You're not confused. Gerald Laurent is standing now, walking toward us. And as he gets closer, I see recognition dawn in his eyes. My God. It really is you. The church erupts again. People are pulling out phones. Cameras are flashing. This is spiraling. Fast. Everyone please, the officiant tries to restore order. If we could just... You destroyed my company, Gerald says, his voice cutting through everything. You came in like a warlord, threatened my board, threatened my family, and took everything we'd built over 3 generations. He turns to the crowd. This man, this nothing in a cheap suit, used to be the most dangerous person in this country. That's not true, I say firmly, looking directly at Maya. Only at Maya. He's mistaken. Mistaken? Gerald laughs bitterly. You had my CFO's car bombed. You had my head of security's daughter kidnapped for 3 days to send a message. You. Stop. My voice came out differently now. Harder. The old voice, the one I've spent 7 years burying. You need to stop talking. Gerald goes quiet. Everyone goes quiet. Because they heard it too. The shift. The thing underneath the apologetic single dad routine. The thing that used to make men twice my size flinch. Maya pulls her hand away from mine. Dad. Her voice is so small. What's he talking about? I crouch down trying to meet her eyes, but she steps back. Baby, listen to me. Did you hurt people? The question lands like a bullet. It's complicated. Did you hurt people? Her eyes are filled with tears. Tell me the truth. I can't. Because the truth is worse than anything Gerald Laurent just said. The truth is I didn't just hurt people. I erased them. Maya. Tell me. The words stick in my throat. I used to be someone different. Before you were born. Before I met your mom. But that person is gone. I promise you, that person. You lied to me. She's crying now, backing away. You lied about everything. I protected you. By lying? She runs. Back toward Diane, who immediately wraps an arm around her, shooting me a look of pure venom. I start to follow, but a hand grabs my arm. I turn, ready to snap, and find myself face to face with a man I haven't seen in 8 years. Vincent Kozlov. Russian. Mid-50s. Scarred knuckles and a smile that never reaches his eyes. One of my old enforcers. Caleb Stone, he says, his accent thick. I heard rumors you were dead. I am dead, I say quietly. Funny. You look very alive. He glances at Maya, still crying in Diane's arms. Pretty girl. Your daughter? Everything in me goes cold. Don't, I say softly. Don't even think about it. His smile widens. Relax, old friend. I'm just here for the wedding. My niece married into the Laurent family. He leans closer. But you should know, people have been looking for you. Important people. People who don't like loose ends. I'm not a loose end. I'm out. No one is ever out. He pats my shoulder. Not from our world. You know that. He walks away back to his seat, leaving me standing alone in the aisle. The officiant clears his throat awkwardly. Perhaps we should take a brief intermission? People start moving. Some leave for the lobby. Others huddle in groups, whispering and pointing at me. I'm a spectacle. A circus act. Everything I swore I'd never be again. Preston approaches, Claire still at his side. She looks shell-shocked. I'm sorry, Preston says again. I didn't mean to. What did you think would happen? I ask quietly. You called me boss in front of 300 people. I panicked. I saw you and I just remembered. Remember what? He hesitates. The last time I saw you. At my father's office. You told him that if he ever spoke your name again, you'd burn everything he loved. Preston swallows hard. And then you looked at me. Just for a second. And I thought you were going to kill me. I wouldn't have. I didn't know that. I was 23. I'd never seen someone look at another human being the way you looked at my father. Like he was already dead and you were just deciding when to make it official. Claire touches Preston's arm. Baby, can we please just... Who are you? She asks me directly. Really? I meet her eyes. I'm Maya's father. That's all I am now. But who were you before? The question everyone wants answered. The question I've spent 7 years running from. I was a criminal, I say simply. I ran an organization that controlled real estate, shipping, construction, and political influence across 9 states. I was very good at it. And I was very bad. Why did you stop? Because my wife was dying and she asked me to. The words come out rougher than I intended. She asked me to disappear. To raise our daughter away from that world. So I did. And you thought you could just walk away? Claire's voice is incredulous. From that kind of life? I had to try. Well, congratulations. Diane appears, still holding Maya's hand. You've officially ruined my daughter's wedding. I hope you're proud. I didn't mean. Get out. Her voice is shaking with rage. Get out of this church, out of this city, out of our lives. You're not family. You never were. Maya won't look at me. That's worse than anything Diane could say. Baby, please. Go, Dad. Maya's voice is hollow. Just go. So I do. I walk out of that church into the parking lot, into the September sun that feels too bright, too cheerful for what just happened. My Honda is still in the corner where I left it. I sit in the driver's seat and grip the steering wheel. My hands aren't shaking anymore. They're steady. Because underneath the panic, underneath the fear for Maya, underneath the shame and the exposure, I feel something else. Something I haven't felt in 7 years. Clarity. I pull out my phone and dial a number I swore I'd never call again. It rings twice. Hello. The voice is cautious. Familiar. It's me, I say. Silence. Then, Caleb? Is this really? I need information. About the Lawrence. About who's been looking for me. And I need it by tonight. Boss, we thought you were. I know what you thought. I need you to stop thinking and start working. Another pause. Then quietly, it's good to hear your voice. I hung up. Because if I stay on the line any longer, I'll remember why I left. I'll remember the violence. The control. The way it felt to be Caleb Stone. And right now, sitting in this parking lot with my daughter hating me and my old life dragging me back under, I need to remember that feeling. Just for tonight. Just long enough to figure out how to protect Maya from whatever's coming. Because Vincent Kozlov didn't show up at this wedding by coincidence. Gerald Laurent didn't recognize me by accident. Someone knew I'd be here. Someone wanted me exposed. And until I know who and why, Maya isn't safe. Even if she hates me. Even if I lose her forever. She has to be safe. That's all that matters. I start the car, and the grinding noise from the left wheel sounds almost comforting now. Normal. Human. I hold on to it as I drive away from the church, from the life I tried to build, from the man I tried to become. And I head toward the only thing I know how to do when the world closes in. I disappear. But this time I'm taking my daughter with me. I didn't go home. Home isn't safe anymore. Instead, I drove to a storage unit 40 minutes outside of town, one I've kept for 7 years under a name that doesn't exist on any government database. Maya would be at the reception by now, surrounded by family who'll tell her I'm a monster. Who'll fill her head with stories about the man I used to be. They're not wrong. But they don't know the whole story. Nobody does. The storage facility is one of those massive complexes off the highway, orange doors, concrete floors, the smell of rust and forgotten things. I punch in the code. The lock clicks. Inside it's exactly as I left it. A steel trunk. A burner laptop. And a leather duffel bag I hoped I'd never open again. I kneel down and unzip it. $300,000 in vacuum-sealed stacks. 4 passports, each with a different name, each with my face. And a gun I swore I'd never touch again. A Beretta M9. Cling. Oh. Loaded. I stare at it for a long moment, feeling the weight of everything it represents. Then I close the bag and open the laptop. It takes 6 minutes to boot up. Old technology, air-gapped from any network, completely untraceable. The screen glows in the dim unit. I open an encrypted messaging app and wait. 3 minutes later, a response appears. Gray, you're really back? Me? Information only. I'm not back. Gray, if you're asking questions, you're already back. What do you need? Me, Laurent Holdings. Gerald Laurent. Who's been circling my old territory? Who knew I'd be at that wedding? Gray, that's a lot of questions for someone who's not back. Me, Gray. Gray, fine. Give me 2 hours. The cursor blinks. Then. Gray, for what it's worth, it's good to know you're alive. I close the laptop before I can respond. Because responding means acknowledging that part of me wants this. I want clarity. The control. The power to make problems disappear with a phone call. I'm back in my car, parked outside a diner, when my phone rings. Unknown number. I answer without speaking. Caleb. It's a woman's voice. Familiar. Elegant. The kind of voice that belongs in boardrooms and opera boxes. Catherine Reeves. My old attorney. The one who made my empire legal even when it wasn't. How did you get this number? I ask. Please. I got you 8 offshore accounts in the Caymans without leaving a paper trail. You think I can't track a burner phone? She pauses. I heard about the wedding. Unfortunate. Is this a social call? No. Her voice drops. This is a warning. The people who wanted you gone 7 years ago? They're not happy you resurfaced. I didn't resurface. I was dragged out. Semantics. The point is you're visible now. And visibility makes you vulnerable. Who are we talking about? The 5 families? The Russian Bratva? Both. And more. She sighs. When you disappeared, Caleb, you left a power vacuum. People fought over your territory for 3 years. Hundreds died. Eventually, an understanding was reached. A new balance. But that balance depended on you staying dead. My grip tightens on the phone. I am dead. Not anymore. Gerald Laurent is already making calls. He's telling everyone who'll listen that the great Caleb Stone is alive, broken, and hiding in a 1-bedroom apartment. Her voice hardens. You've become an embarrassment. And in our world, embarrassments don't last long. Then they'll be disappointed. I'm not coming back. They won't care what you want. They'll care what you represent. Instability. A wild card. A man who might decide to reclaim his throne. I don't want the throne. Tell that to your daughter when they come for her to make sure you stay buried. The words hit like a fist to the gut. You're saying Maya's in danger. I'm saying if you don't handle this and handle it quickly, she will be. Catherine pauses. There's a meeting tonight. Neutral ground. The old Riverside warehouse. 11 p.m. The major players want to see you. Want to hear from your own mouth that you're out. And if I don't show? Then they'll assume the worst. And they'll act accordingly. The line goes dead. I sit there in the parking lot, watching people go in and out of the diner. Normal people with normal problems, eating normal food, living normal lives. Lives I'll never have. The burner laptop chimes. Gray sent his report. I read it twice, my chest getting tighter with each paragraph. Laurent Holdings, currently controlled by Gerald Laurent, but barely. The company's been hemorrhaging money for years. Bad investments. Worse management. They're 3 months from bankruptcy. Gerald Laurent, desperate, angry, blames his company's collapse on the hostile takeover from 12 years ago. Has been telling anyone who'll listen that Caleb Stone destroyed his family legacy. The wedding, Preston Lawrence marriage to Claire Devereaux, wasn't just personal, it was financial. The Devereaux family has old money. Clean money. Money that could save Laurent Holdings. But here's the part that makes my blood run cold. Vincent Kozlov, arrived in town 3 weeks ago. Has been meeting with Gerald Laurent. Frequently. And underneath, Gray added a note. Boss, Kozlov's been asking about you for months. Offering money to anyone who knows where you are. Gerald didn't recognize you by accident. He was told you'd be at that wedding. This was a setup. I read it again. A setup. Someone wanted me exposed. Someone wanted my daughter to see who I really am. Someone wanted to pull me out of hiding. But why? My phone rang again. Different number. I answer. Daddy? My heart stops. Maya? Where are you? Are you okay? I'm fine. Her voice is small. Scared. I'm at Aunt Diane's house. She said I'm staying here tonight. Baby, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Why did you lie? She interrupts. About who you were. About everything? I close my eyes. Because I wanted you to have a normal life. But it was all fake. No. My love for you was never fake. Everything I did. Everyone here is saying you're a criminal. That you hurt people. That you're dangerous. Her voice cracks. Is it true? I could lie. I've gotten very good at lying. But I'm done lying to her. Yes, I say quietly. It's true. Silence. Then, so soft I almost missed it. Are you going to hurt them? The people who said those things at the wedding? No, baby. I promise. I just want to make sure you're safe. But I am safe. I'm with Aunt Diane. Maya, listen. I have to go. She's crying now. They're saying I can't talk to you anymore. Maya, wait. The line goes dead. I tried calling back. Blocked. I sit there, phone in hand, feeling something crack open inside my chest. She's afraid of me. My own daughter is afraid of me. By the time I reach Diane's house, it's almost dark. It's a mansion, really, white columns, circular driveway, the kind of place that screams old money and better than you. I park on the street and walk up to the door. Before I can knock, it opens. Diane stands there, her face cold. No. I need to see Maya. Absolutely not. She's my daughter. She's traumatized. Diane steps outside, pulling the door closed behind her. Do you have any idea what you've put her through? She spent the last 3 hours crying. Asking me if her father is going to kill someone. What am I supposed to tell her? Tell her I love her. Tell her I'm trying to protect her. By dragging her into your criminal past? Diane's voice rises. You should have stayed gone, Caleb. You should have let us raise her properly. Properly? The word comes out harder than I intended. You mean with people who ignore her unless there's a camera around? At least we're not criminals. No. You're just snobs who'd rather she didn't exist because she reminds you that your perfect sister married someone beneath her. Diane's face flushes. Get off my property. Let me see my daughter. No. Diane? I've already called my lawyer. As of tonight, I'm filing for emergency custody. Given your history, your real history, I don't think any judge will have trouble granting it. The world tilts. You can't do that. Watch me. She steps back toward the door. Stay away from Maya. Stay away from this family. Or I'll make sure everyone knows exactly who Caleb Stone was, and what he did. The door slams. I stand there on the porch, feeling 7 years of careful construction collapse around me. She's taking Maya. And she'll win. Because she's right, no judge will give custody to a man with my past. No court will believe I've changed. No one will. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Come to the warehouse. 11 p.m. Come alone. Or we come for your daughter. Attached is a photo. Maya through a window sitting on a bed in Diane's house. Someone's watching her. Right now. I'm moving before I realize it. Back to my car, hands shaking, vision tunneling. Kozlov. He sent this. He's making sure I show up tonight. Making sure I know what happens if I don't. I drove to the storage unit. Grabbed the duffel bag. The gun. This time I didn't hesitate. I checked the magazine. Chamber around. The weight feels familiar. Comfortable. Wrong. But I don't have a choice anymore. They brought Maya into this. They crossed the one line I told them never to cross. The Riverside warehouse is exactly where I remember it. Abandoned for a decade, tucked between rusted train tracks and a river that smells like chemicals and dead fish. I park 2 blocks away and walk. The gun is tucked into my waistband, hidden under my cheap suit jacket. By the time I reach the warehouse entrance, it's 10:57 p.m. 3 minutes early. The door is unlocked. Inside, it's dark except for a single overhead light in the center of the space, illuminating a circle of chairs. 6 people sit in those chairs. 6 faces I recognize from my old life. Vincent Kozlov, smiling like this is a reunion. Catherine Reeves, looking professionally concerned. And 4 others, representatives from the families that carved up my territory after I left. Caleb Stone, Kozlov says warmly. Welcome home. This isn't my home, I say, staying in the shadows. And I'm not staying. That's what we need to discuss. Catherine gestures to an empty chair. Please. Sit. I'll stand. Suit yourself. She crosses her legs. Let's get to the point. You disappeared 7 years ago. We respected that. Moved on. Built new arrangements. But now you're back. I'm not back. And your presence creates a problem, she continues smoothly. People are asking questions. Old debts are being remembered. Territories we thought settled are suddenly in dispute. That's not my problem. It becomes your problem, one of the other men says, Tony Marconi, head of the Italian syndicate, when people start dying over it. I'm out, I say firmly. I have been for 7 years. I have no territory, no organization, no interest. And yet, Kozlov says softly, here you are, with a gun tucked in your waistband, looking very much like the old Caleb Stone. You threatened my daughter. I sent you an incentive to attend this meeting. He shrugs. Threats are so imprecise. If you touch her, you'll what? Kozlov leans forward. Return to your old ways? Prove to everyone that you're still dangerous? Still relevant? He smiles. That's exactly what we need to know, Caleb. Are you? The question hangs in the air. They're testing me. All of them. Seeing if the old Caleb Stone is still in here somewhere. Seeing if I'll snap. I'm a single father who works in a warehouse, I say quietly. That's all I am. Prove it, Catherine says. There's a situation developing. A territorial dispute between Kozlov's people and the Marconi family. Someone with your reputation could resolve it. One meeting. One decision. Then you go back to your quiet life. No. Your daughter stays safe, Kozlov adds. Protected. No one touches her. Ever. And if I refuse? Then we can't guarantee her safety. He spreads his hands. The world we operate in doesn't like loose ends, Caleb. And right now, you're the loosest end we have. I look at each of them. At the trap they've built. At the choice that isn't really a choice. One meeting, I say. Then I'm out. Permanently. Of course, Catherine says smoothly. Just one. But I see it in Kozlov's eyes. The satisfaction. The knowledge that once you're back in even for a moment, you never really get out again. I leave the warehouse at 11:47 p.m. The gun is still in my waistband. I didn't fire it, but I wanted to. God, I wanted to. Back in my car, I grip the steering wheel and try to breathe. One meeting. That's all. Then Maya's safe. Then we can disappear for real. Then, my phone rings. Maya's number. I answer instantly. Baby? Are you Mr. Stone? It's Diane's voice. Cold. Furious. Your daughter is gone. The world stops. What? She's not in her room. The window's open. She's gone. When? I don't know. Sometime in the last hour. I've called the police. Don't. The word comes out like a command. Don't call anyone. I'll find her. You'll find? You're the reason she's missing. This is your fault, your world, I hung up. And I know with absolute certainty exactly what happened. Someone took her. Not to hurt her. To make sure I stay involved. To make sure I can't walk away. My phone buzzes. Another text from the unknown number. She's safe. For now. Do what we ask. She stays that way. Attached is another photo. Maya, blindfolded, sitting in what looks like an empty room. She's not hurt. But she's terrified. I stare at the photo until my vision blurs. And something inside me, something I've kept buried for 7 years, something I've fought every single day to keep dead, wakes up. Not the scared single dad. Not the apologetic man in the cheap suit. The man who burned Gerald Lawrence's empire to the ground. The man who made Vincent Kozlov's predecessor disappear so completely that even his DNA couldn't be found. The man who controlled 9 states with a phone call and a whisper. Caleb Stone. He's been sleeping. But they just woke him up. And they're going to regret it. I didn't sleep. Instead, I sit in my car outside the storage unit and make a list. Not a plan. A list. Of everyone who needs to answer for taking my daughter. By 3 a.m., the list has 12 names. By 4 a.m., I've eliminated 7 of them. By 5 a.m., I know exactly where Maya is. And by 6 a.m., I'm standing in front of a brownstone in the expensive part of town, the kind of neighborhood where people don't ask questions because they're too busy pretending everything is perfect. I ring the doorbell. It takes 3 minutes for Gerald Laurent to answer, wearing a silk robe and an expression that shifts from confusion to fear in half a second. Caleb, what are you? I push past him into the house. Where's Preston? I ask calmly. He's not here. He and Claire are on there. Don't lie to me, Gerald. Something in my voice makes him step back. Upstairs, he says quietly. Second door on the left. I take the stairs 2 at a time. Preston's sitting on the edge of the bed, still in his wedding clothes, head in his hands. Claire's beside him, her wedding dress crumpled, makeup smeared from crying. They both look up when I enter. Where is she? I ask. Preston's face goes pale. I don't know what. My daughter. 10 years old. Taken from her aunt's house sometime between 10 and 11 p.m. last night. I step closer. You set me up at that wedding. You recognized me on purpose. You wanted to expose me. I didn't. Vincent Kozlov was at your wedding. The same man who's been looking for me for months. The same man who just sent me a photo of my daughter tied up in an empty room. My voice drops. So I'm going to ask you one more time, and if you lie to me, I'm going to forget that I promised my late wife I'd never be that man again. Where's she? Preston's shaking. The old Riverside Cannery. 3 blocks south of the warehouse. 2nd floor. Who has her? Kozlov's people. 2 men. They're supposed to keep her safe just to make sure you cooperate. Safe. The word tastes like poison. You call kidnapping a child safe? I didn't know they were going to take her. I swear. They just said. He stops, realizing he's already admitted too much. They said what? Claire speaks up, her voice hollow. They said if we helped expose you, they'd clear our family's debts. All of them. $300 million gone. She looks at me with dead eyes. We're bankrupt, Mr. Stone. I have been for 2 years. We're 3 months from losing everything. So you sold me out. They were going to take the company, Gerald says from the doorway. 3 generations of work. Gone. They said all we had to do was confirm your identity at the wedding. That's all. They promised no one would get hurt. And you believed them. We were desperate. I look at the 3 of them, this broken family who gambled with my daughter's life to save their empire. Part of me wants to hurt them. The old part. The part that's waking up more with every breath. But hurting them won't get Maya back. Call Kozlov, I say to Preston. Tell him I want to talk. He won't answer. Then make him answer. I pulled out my gun, the Beretta I swore I'd never use again, and set it on the dresser between us. Or I stop being polite. Preston's hands shake as he dials. It rings 4 times. Then, Preston. It's 6 a.m. This better be. He's here, Preston says quickly. Caleb Stone. He's here and he wants to talk to you. Silence on the other end. Then Kozlov's laugh, low and amused. Put him on. Preston hands me the phone. Vincent, I say calmly. You have something that belongs to me. I have insurance, he corrects. To make sure you honor our arrangement. Our arrangement was 1 meeting. I attended. Now give me my daughter. The meeting hasn't happened yet. Tonight. 8 p.m. The disputed territory in South Harbor. You mediate the conflict between my organization and the Marcoris. You make the decision. Everyone honors it. He pauses. Then you get your daughter back. And if I refuse? Then your daughter learns what kind of man her father really is. His voice hardens. We have 12 years of documentation, Caleb. Photographs. Recordings. Bodies. We'll show her everything. Every person you hurt. Every order you gave. Every life you destroyed. My grip tightens on the phone. And then, Kozlov continues, we'll let her go. Let her live with that knowledge. Let her grow up knowing her father is a monster. He laughs softly. Sometimes death is kinder than truth. If you hurt her. We won't. We don't need to. You'll do exactly what we ask because you have no choice. The line goes dead. I stand there, phone in hand, feeling the old rage rising. The cold, calculated rage that used to make men disappear. What did he say? Gerald asks. I ignore him. Instead, I pull out my burner phone and send a text to Gray. I need a team. For people. Weapons. Surveillance equipment. The old safe house in North Harbor. 2 hours. The response comes in 30 seconds. Great boss, are you sure? Once you do this, there's no going back. They took my daughter. There's already no going back. Gray, understood. We'll be ready. I pocket the phone and pick up the Beretta. Preston flinches. Relax, I say. I'm not going to shoot you. You're not worth the bullet. I head for the door, then stop. But if anything happens to Maya, if she's hurt, if she's scared, if she has so much as a bruise, I'm coming back. And I won't be this reasonable. I leave them there, 3 people who gambled with a child's life and lost. The old safe house is exactly where I left it. A warehouse converted into living space, tucked between abandoned factories in North Harbor. Gray's already there when I arrive. He looks older than I remember. More gray in his hair, more lines around his eyes. But he moves the same way, economical and precise. Boss. He offers his hand. I shake it. Just Caleb. Caleb then. He gestures to 3 other people standing behind him. You remember Reese, Mikhail, and Carmen? I do. Reese, tech specialist, mid-30s, can hack anything with a circuit board. Mikhail, former Spetsnaz, 42, arms like tree trunks and a face like a brick wall. Carmen, surveillance expert, late 20s, sharp eyes that miss nothing. They all worked for me once. All disappeared when I did. Why'd you come back? I asked them. Because you asked, Reese says simply. Could get you killed. So could crossing the street. Carmen shrugs. Besides, you paid for my sister's medical school. Figured I owed you. You don't owe me anything. Then call it a favor, Mikhail rumbles. For old times. Gray spreads a map on the table. The cannery. 3 blocks south of Riverside. 2nd floor, eastern corner room. 2 guards, both armed. Security camera at the entrance, another on the 2nd floor landing. They'll be expecting me, I say. They'll be expecting the old you. The one who'd come in loud. Gray taps the map. So we go quiet. I don't want anyone hurt unless necessary. He looks at me. You've changed. I'm a father now. You were always a father. You just finally started acting like one. He smiles slightly. All right. Quiet extraction. In and out. We disable the guards, grab your daughter, and disappear before Kozlov even knows we were there. And then? Then you have a choice to make. Gray's expression turns serious. You can take Maya and run, new identities, new life, permanent disappearance. I have contacts who can make you both vanish completely. Or you end this. Tonight. At that meeting. You show up, make your decision, remind everyone why they used to fear the name Caleb Stone. He leans forward. But if you do that, if you step back into this world even for a night, you can't pretend it never happened. Maya will know. Everyone will know. She already knows, I say quietly. The wedding made sure of that. Knowing you were someone dangerous is different from seeing it. Gray's voice drops. If you walk into that meeting, you'll be making decisions that affect hundreds of lives. Territory, money, power. And Maya will understand exactly what kind of man her father is. I close my eyes. 7 years. 7 years of hiding, of pretending, of being less than I was. All to protect her from this moment. And now I have to choose. Save her quietly and run forever. Or save her loudly and let her see the monster I used to be. The cannery first, I say. We get Maya safe. Then I decide. We move at 2 p.m., when the sun is high and most people are at lunch. Reese disables the security cameras with a signal jammer. Carmen confirms 2 heat signatures on the second floor. One in the corner room with Maya, one patrolling the hallway. Mikhail and I go in through the back entrance, moving through shadows and silence. The guard on the second floor never sees us coming. Mikhail has him unconscious in 4 seconds. A chokehold, precise and professional. We drag him into an empty room and zip-tie his hands. The corner room door is locked. I hear Maya's voice through it, scared, small, asking when she can go home. Something in my chest tears open. I pick the lock in 30 seconds. The door swings open. Maya's sitting in the center of the room, blindfolded, hands zip-tied in front of her. The second guard spins toward us, reaching for his gun. Mikhail's faster. 1 strike to the throat, 1 to the solar plexus. The guard drops. Dad. Maya's voice cracks. Is that you? It's me, baby. I'm across the room in 3 steps, pulling the blindfold off, cutting the zip ties. She throws her arms around my neck and sobs. I'm sorry, she cries. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean what I said at Aunt Diane's. I was just scared and confused and... Sure. It's okay. I've got you. I hold her tight, breathing in the smell of her shampoo, cheap strawberry, the kind we buy at the dollar store. Normal. Human. What? Are they going to come back? She whispers. No, I say firmly. I promise. No one's going to hurt you ever again. She pulls back, looking at me with those eyes, Sarah's eyes. The things they said about you at the wedding. Were they true? Here it is. The moment I've been dreading. I could lie. Could soften it. Could tell her a version of the truth that's easier to swallow. But she deserves better than that. Yes, I say quietly. Before you were born, I did bad things. Hurt people who didn't deserve it. Made decisions that destroyed lives. I cup her face gently. But then I met your mom. And she showed me that I could be someone different. Someone better. Did Mom know? About who you were? Yes. She knew everything. And she loved me anyway. My throat tightens. When she got sick, she made me promise to walk away from that life. To raise you somewhere safe. Somewhere clean. I brush a tear from her cheek. So I did. I became the man she believed I could be. The man who works at the warehouse. The man who gets to be your dad. She thinks about this for a long moment. Then, are you going to go back? To being him? I don't know, I admit. But whatever I do, it's to protect you. That's all I care about. She hugs me again. I love you, Dad. I love you too, baby. More than anything in this world. Mikhail clears his throat. Boss. We need to move. Right. We're not safe yet. I scoop Maya up. She's too big to carry like this anymore, but I don't care, and we move through the building the same way we came. Silent. Fast. Gone. By the time Kozlov's people realize what happened, we're 3 miles away. Back at the safe house, Carmen checks Maya over while I pace. She's fine, Carmen says finally. No injuries. Just scared. Thank you, I told her. Gray pulls me aside. You have 4 hours until the meeting. What's your decision? I look at Maya, sitting on a couch wrapped in a blanket, drinking hot chocolate that Reese made for her. She's safe. That's all that matters. But Kozlov will come for her again if I don't end this. Gerald Laurent will expose me if I don't end this. The world I tried to leave will keep dragging me back unless I end this. I'm going to the meeting, I say. Gray nods slowly. And Maya? Stays here. With all of you. Protected. She'll ask questions. I know. I meet his eyes. Tell her the truth. Whatever happens tonight, she deserves the truth. What are you planning? To remind everyone why they let me walk away 7 years ago. I check my watch. And why they should let me walk away again. At 7:30 p.m., I'm standing outside the disputed territory in South Harbor. A block of warehouses worth $40 million that both Kozlov and Marconi claim ownership of. Gray's voice comes through my earpiece. You sure about this? No, I admit. But I'm doing it anyway. We've got your back. Snipers on the roofs. Eyes everywhere. Let's hope we don't need them. I walk into the central warehouse. Inside it's exactly like the last meeting, circle of chairs, single overhead light. But this time there are more people. 15. Maybe 20. Every major player in the region. All here to see if Caleb Stone is really back. Kozlov stands when he sees me. Caleb, you made it. Where's my daughter? Safe. As promised. You'll get her back after you make your decision. I already got her back, I say calmly. His smile falters. What? 3 hours ago. From your cannery. Your guards are alive if that's what you're wondering. Unconscious but alive. The room goes dead silent. You. Kozlov's face darkens. You broke the agreement. You kidnapped a child. There was no agreement. Then we have a problem. Yes, I say, turning to address everyone. We do. I step into the center of the circle. 7 years ago I disappeared. I walked away from power, from territory, from everything I'd built. And I stayed gone because that's what my wife asked. Because I wanted my daughter to have a normal life. I look at each of them. But you couldn't let me stay gone. You had to pull me back. Had to test me. Had to see if I was still dangerous. Are you? Tony Marconi asks. I smile. Not the apologetic smile of the single dad. The other one. The one that used to make people nervous. Here's what's going to happen, I say quietly. The disputed territory in South Harbor goes to neither of you. It goes to community development, low-income housing, job training centers, youth programs. I turn to Kozlov. You and Marconi will split the cost of building it. Call it reparations for the communities you've destroyed. That's insane, Marconi sputters. That property is worth 40 million. I know. You'll find the money. My voice hardens. Or I'll find it for you. And trust me, you won't like my collection methods. You can't just dictate. I can. Because if I don't, this dispute turns into a war. People die. Territories fracture. And everything you've built over the last 7 years falls apart. I look around the room. That's what you wanted, isn't it? My decision? My authority? Silence. So here it is. The South Harbor territory is neutral ground. The Lawrence debts are forgiven. They've paid enough. And my daughter is off limits. Forever. Anyone who touches her, threatens her, or even looks at her wrong answers to me. And what exactly can you do? Kozlov asks. You're out, remember? You have no organization. No muscle. No. I have something better, I interrupt. I have a reputation. And right now, every person in this room is wondering if I've still got it. Wondering if the old Caleb Stone is still in here somewhere. I step closer to Kozlov. Want to find out? He doesn't answer. Because he's smart enough to see the truth. I'm not bluffing. That's what I thought. I turn back to the group. Spread the word. Caleb Stone is still gone. Still out. Still not interested. But if you force me to come back, if you make me remember what I'm capable of, you won't like who I become. I walk toward the door. This isn't over, Kozlov calls after me. Yes, I say without turning around. It is. And I leave. Behind me, I hear the argument starting. But I don't care. Because I just bought Maya her freedom. And mine. Back at the safe house, Maya's asleep on the couch. How'd it go? Gray asks quietly. I think I made my point. They'll test it. Eventually. Let them. I sit down beside my daughter, brushing hair from her face. I meant what I said. She's off limits. And I'll burn the whole world down before I let anyone hurt her again. The old you talking? The dad talking. Gray smiles. Same thing maybe. Maybe. Maya stirs, opening her eyes. Dad. Right here, baby. Did you hurt anyone? No, I say honestly. Didn't have to. Because they're scared of you? Because they're smart enough to know when to stop pushing. She thinks about this, then, can we go home now? Home. Our tiny one-bedroom apartment with its cracked bathroom mirror and grinding car sounds. Normal. Safe. Yeah, I say softly. We can go home. We didn't go home. Not right away. Instead, I drove us to the place where it all started, the small chapel on the hill where I married Emily 12 years ago. It's nearly midnight. The building is dark, locked, but the garden behind it is open to the sky. Maya follows me without asking why. We sat on the stone bench overlooking the city, the same bench where Emily and I sat the night I told her everything. What I'd done. The empire built on violence and fear. She'd listened to it all. Then she'd taken my hand and said, "That's who you were. Now show me who you can be." "Why are we here?" Maya asked softly. "Because your mom's buried down that hill." I point to the small cemetery below, where a simple headstone marks Sarah's grave. "And I think we both need to talk to her." Maya's quiet for a long moment. Then, "Do you think she'd be mad?" "About what happened?" "At me?" "Probably." I smile sadly. "At you?" "Never. You didn't do anything wrong, baby. I got taken because of who you are. You got taken because bad people made bad choices." I pull her closer. "That's on them. Not you. Never you." She leans against my shoulder and we sit there in the silence watching the city lights twinkle below. "Dad." Her voice is small. "Are you scared?" "Of what?" "That you'll turn back into him. The person you used to be." I think about the meeting tonight. The way the old authority came back so easily. The way my voice changed, my posture, the cold calculation that used to come as naturally as breathing. "Yeah, I admit. I'm terrified. But you didn't hurt anyone. Not yet. Not ever." She sits up, looking at me with those serious eyes. "You could have. At that meeting you could have done something bad and no one would have stopped you. But you didn't." "How do you know?" "Because you came back to me." She touches my hand. "The bad person wouldn't have. He would have gotten lost in being powerful. But you came back." Her words hit harder than anything Kozlov said. Harder than anything Gerald Laurent confessed. Because she's right. The old Caleb Stone wouldn't have walked away from that meeting. He would have stayed. "Your mom used to say something," I told her. "She said people aren't defined by their worst moments. They're defined by what they do after." "What did you do after?" "I chose you. I chose this." I gesture at our cheap clothes, our beat-up life. "And I'd choose it again. Every time." Maya hugs me tight. And for the first time in 7 years I feel like maybe, I actually became the man Emily believed I could be. We visited Sarah's grave before we leave. It's a simple headstone, Emily Stone. Beloved wife and mother. She saw the light in everyone. Maya places a flower she picked from the chapel garden. I just stand there, hands in my pockets, feeling the weight of everything that's happened. "I kept my promise," I whisper. "Mostly. There were a few rough spots, but I kept her safe. She's smart. She's kind. She's everything you were." The wind rustles through the trees. I take it as approval. By the time we pull into the parking lot of our apartment complex, it's almost 2 a.m. The Honda's grinding noise sounds almost comforting now. "Are we going to move?" Maya asks as we climb the stairs to our floor. "Do you want to?" She thinks about it. "No. I like it here. It's ours." "It's ours." "Yeah, it is." Inside, the apartment looks exactly the same. Small, cramped, filled with cheap furniture and half-finished homework. "Home. Go get ready for bed," I tell Maya. "We'll deal with school tomorrow." "Dad." "Yeah. Thank you. For coming to get me. Always, baby. Always." She disappears into her room and I collapse onto the couch, exhaustion hitting all at once. My phone buzzes. A text from Gray. "Gray, word spreading. You made an impression. Kozlov's people are backing off. Marconi's already talking about the community center. You did it, boss. Me, just Caleb." "Gray, right? Just Caleb. The man who ended a war without firing a shot. Very ordinary. Me, I'm out, Gray. For real this time." "Gray, I know. But if you ever need us." "Me, I won't. But thank you. For everything." I put the phone down and closed my eyes. It's over. Really over. The past can't touch us now. 3 weeks later. Life returns to something close to normal. Maya goes back to school. I go back to the warehouse. The parent-teacher conference happens, and this time when they tell me Maya's struggling to fit in, I don't just nod and apologize. I ask what I can do to help. Turns out, quite a lot. Diane calls once, her lawyer still threatening custody. But then the threats stop. Completely. I didn't ask why, but I suspect Catherine Reeves had something to do with it. A quiet conversation. A reminder of what happens when people push Caleb Stone's family. The Laurent family's debts disappeared overnight. Gerald sends me a note. "I don't understand what you did. But thank you." I didn't respond. Some conversations don't need to continue. Preston and Claire moved to Boston for a fresh start. I hope they make it. Vincent Kozlov leaves the country. I hear through Gray that he's decided the East Coast is too complicated for business. Smart man. The South Harbor Community Center breaks ground in October. Maya and I attended the ceremony. No one recognizes me. I'm just another father in the crowd, holding his daughter's hand, clapping when the mayor cuts the ribbon. Invisible again. Exactly how I like it. 6 months later. I'm standing in front of the same cracked bathroom mirror, trying to tie a Windsor knot. This time it's for a PDA meeting. Maya pokes her head in. You're doing it wrong again. I know. She climbs onto the toilet and fixes it, her fingers quick and confident. There. Now you look like a real dad. I'm a real dad. Thanks, baby. Dad. She hops down, hesitating. Can I ask you something? Always. Do you miss it? Being powerful? I think about the question. Really think about it. The truth is complicated. Do I miss the certainty? The control? The way people listen when I spoke? Sometimes. Late at night, when the bills pile up and the car makes a new horrible noise and I'm tired and broke and invisible. Sometimes I miss it. But then I look at Maya, at the way she smiles without fear, at the way she trusts me. At the life we've built from nothing, small and imperfect in ours. No, I say honestly. I didn't miss it. Not even a little? Not even a little. She grins. Good. Because I like you better this way. As a broke single dad who can't tie a Windsor knot? As my dad who comes to PDA meetings and helps with homework and makes really bad pancakes on Sunday. My throat tightens. My pancakes aren't that bad. Dad. They're terrible. Okay, yeah, they're pretty terrible. We both laugh. And in that moment, standing in our tiny bathroom in our one-bedroom apartment with our beat-up Honda in the parking lot, I feel richer than I ever did running an empire. The PDA meeting is exactly as boring as I expected. Budget discussions. Fundraiser planning. A 30-minute debate about whether the fall festival should have a pie-eating contest. I sit in the back row, taking notes, raising my hand twice to volunteer for the book fair. Afterward, another parent approaches me, a woman about my age, kind eyes, warm smile. You're Maya's dad, right? She asks. That's me. I'm Jennifer. My son's in her class. She's wonderful, by the way. Always helping other kids, always kind. Pride swells in my chest. Thank you. She gets that from her mom. Well, she's lucky to have you too. Jennifer hesitates. There's a parent coffee thing next Tuesday morning. Nothing formal, just people getting to know each other. Would you want to come? I almost said no. Old habits, stay invisible, keep your head down, don't get close to people. But then I remember. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm just living. Yeah, I say. I'd like that. Her face lights up. Great. I'll text you the details. She walks away and I stand there for a moment, amazed. A normal conversation. A normal invitation. A normal life. Who knew it could feel this good? That night, I tucked Maya into bed. Did you make any parent friends? She asks. Maybe. There's a coffee thing next week. Dad. Are you going on a parent date? It's not a date. It's coffee. That's what people say when it's a date. Go to sleep. She giggles and pulls the covers up. Night, Dad. Night, baby. I'm almost out the door when she calls out. Dad. Yeah. I'm glad you came back. From who you used to be. My heart clenches. Me too, sweetheart. Me too. 1 year later. Maya's 11th birthday party is in our apartment. Small, loud, chaotic. 8 kids, pizza from the cheap place down the street, a cake I definitely didn't make myself. Learned that lesson the hard way. Jennifer's here with her son. Gray shows up briefly, bringing Maya a book about female scientists. Even Reese sends a gift, a coding kit for kids. The apartment is packed, overflowing with laughter and noise and life. I stand in the kitchen watching Maya blow out her candles and I think about how far we've come. From that church a year ago when Preston called me boss, and everything fell apart. To this moment where my daughter is surrounded by friends who don't know my past and don't need to. Where I'm just Caleb. Just a dad. Just enough. Make a wish, one of the kids shouts. Maya closes her eyes. I wonder what she wishes for. More friends? Better grades? A dad who can actually cook? But when she opens her eyes and looks at me across the room, she smiles. And I realize, maybe she already has everything she needs. Later, after the guests leave and the apartment is quiet again, Maya finds me on the balcony. Our tiny balcony that barely fits 2 people, overlooking a parking lot and a convenience store. But tonight the stars are out. Did you have fun? I ask. The best. She leans against the railing. Dad. Yeah. Do you think Mom would be proud of us? I put my arm around her shoulders. I think she'd be proud of you. You're exactly who she hoped you'd be. What about you? I'm working on it. I look up at the stars. But yeah, I think she'd be proud. We stand there in comfortable silence. Father and daughter. Survivors of a past that tried to consume us. Builders of a future that's ours alone. I love you, Dad, Maya says quietly. I love you too, baby. More than anything in this world. And I mean it. Every word. Because power, money, empires, they all fade. But this moment with my daughter under the stars, in our tiny life that we built from nothing, this is forever. This is everything. 2 years later. I'm standing in the back of a different church now. Not for a funeral or a wedding. For Maya's middle school graduation. She's 13, confident, wearing the dress we picked out together. Not from Goodwill this time, but still affordable. Still ours. When they call her name, she walks across that stage like she owns it. The principal mentions her academic achievements, her volunteer work at the South Harbor Community Center, her kindness to other students. I watch from the back row, my cheap suit replaced by one that fits a little better, my Honda replaced by something that only makes noise sometimes. We're doing okay. Not rich. Not powerful. But okay. And that's more than enough. After the ceremony, Maya runs up to me, diploma in hand. I did it. You did it. I pull her into a hug. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for coming. Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss this for the world. Jennifer walks over, her son beside her. Congratulations, Maya. Thanks, Miss Carter. Jennifer looks at me. We're taking some of the graduates out for ice cream. You two want to join? I glance at Maya. She nods eagerly. Yeah, I say. We'd love to. As we walk out of the church into the afternoon sun, Maya takes my hand. She's getting too old for this probably. But she does it anyway. And I hold on. Because 7 years ago, I made a promise to a dying woman that I'd raise our daughter right. That I'd walk away from power and violence and everything I'd built. That I'd become someone better. Someone worthy of being called Dad. I look at Maya now, strong, kind, whole, and I realize I kept my promise. And it cost me everything I thought mattered. But it gave me everything that actually does. That night, back in our apartment, Maya's asleep in her room. I'm sitting on the couch with my old burner phone in my hands. There's one last message from Gray from 6 months ago. Gray, the world you left is quiet. Stable. They tell stories about you, but no one's looking anymore. You're finally free. I never responded. But tonight I do. Me, thank you. For everything. For giving me a second chance. For helping me save her. The response comes quickly. Gray, you saved yourself, boss. We just watched. Me, not boss. Just Caleb. Gray, just Caleb. The man who walked away from an empire to be a father. Still the most powerful thing I've ever seen. I smile and delete the conversation. Then I delete the app. Then I take the burner phone to the kitchen, remove the battery, and drop it in the trash. That life is over. Really, truly over. I am Caleb Stone. Single father. Warehouse worker. PDA volunteer. Terrible cook. And I wouldn't change a single thing. So here's my question for you. What makes someone powerful? Money? Control? Fear? Or is it the strength to walk away from all of that for the people you love? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story hit you the way I hoped it would, if you felt every twist, every emotion, every moment, hit that subscribe button. Because there are more stories like this. More lives lived in the shadows. More people are fighting to be better than their past. And I want to tell you all of them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying until the end. And remember, you're not defined by your worst moments. You're defined by what you do after.